Another day, another IPO. The IPO market in Malaysia is so interesting now. Even my Yima say everyone is talking about IPO. The hambalang one also applying. In the end, only get Then at their Kabu now. Is this a sign of IPO bubble forming? Hey guys, it's Ishra, your investing friend. Today, let's look at the next big IPO in Bursa Malaysia, Skyworld Development Berhad, another property company. I think the valuer of Skyworld confirm now handshake until very guy because don't know what price to set for IPO. Set too high, they don't know people subscribe. Price collapse on the first day. Set too low, later raise not enough money, susah sangat. So before we start talking about Skyworld, let's first understand the business model of a property development. Very simple. A property developer's job is to build an area of nothing into something. From 0 to 1, it means from an area of nothing, empty land, they can build anything on top of it. It can be hotel lah, mall lah, residential houses lah, apartment lah, condo lah, anything. And then sell it to people. Okay? Sweet. So now let's look back at Skyworld. Skyworld is an urban property developer that focuses on building apartments and condos in cities. So they will buy a small parcels of land in the city and then they will build condo lah, apartment lah or commercial area on it and then sell it to people. And they are well known for their build quality in the market. And what's so special about them is they use Utilisation evaluation to test their workmanship. Wow, sounds very tokong. Because a lot of developers, they won't go and find troubles for their own. Means that Skyworld is very confident in their workmanship lor. So far, Skyworld has completed 6 projects and their projects mostly have very high take-up rate. Take-up rate is basically how many units they successfully sold lah, huh? But if you understand accounting for a property developer or if you have bought a house before, you know there's a thing called progressive billing. Basically, progressive billing is how a property developer recognizes their revenue. When a property developer develops a new building, they will start it from the bottom, level by level 1 right? It means if they successfully sold 100% of the units before the building is built, they cannot just recognize the revenue to day one, you know.
Nani?
They can only recognize the revenue following the completion rate of the project. For example, let's say Skyworld has this 500 million ringgit project called Skyworld Awani Residence Setapak, and if they successfully sold 100% of the units when the building is only 67% built, means they can only recognize 67% of the 500 million ringgit. Okay? So now you understand the rough concept already, right? The next thing that we want to look in a property developer is GDV and GDC, gross development value and gross development cost. You can take GDV as the revenue and GDC as the cost of goods sold. So when you take GDV minus GDC, you will get the gross profit of the project. If you understand this, basically you can predict the future potential of property developers' revenue and profit based on GDC and GDV. In the case of Skyworld, there are 2 sections in the IPO prospectus. One is completed project and another one is ongoing project. So for completed project or completed development, right, you don't need to CA because all the revenue has been recognized. It means it won't bring any future revenue or profit to the company anymore. Unless you are an interested buyer in their property, then you can just Google and search for their review, okay? But as an investor, your focus should be on the ongoing development section because these projects are the ones that will bring in revenue and profit to the company moving forward if you want to become the shareholder. And from the prospectus, we can see that Skyworld still has 6 ongoing projects with a GDV of 2.8 billion ringgit. Now I want to test see if you got listened properly to my video. Yes, this 2.8 billion ringgit is the revenue for Skyworld, but they cannot just recognize it immediately because of the progressive billing. And they can only recognize the revenue when the units are fully sold. Today, Skyworld has a total sold and unbuilt GDV of 1.01 billion. That will be recognized progressively from 2023 to 2026. So now you already know how much revenue Skyworld will be making from 2023 to 2026. Okay, now we move our focus to up upcoming projects, we can see that they have 10 upcoming projects with a GDV of 4 billion ringgit.
Nice.
These projects will contribute a gross profit of 1.8 billion ringgit from 2023 to 2030. So if you become a shareholder of Skyworld, there will be 6 ongoing projects and 10 upcoming projects that will bring in a total revenue of 5.6 billion until 2030. Now you understand the future of Skyworld already, but what is the value for Skyworld? By the way, today is 18 June 2023. I purposely do it on this day so my valuation is not biased. Shall we begin?
Normally in Bursa, there are 4 ways investors value a property development company. Number 1, PE ratio. Number 2, price to book. Number 3, dividend yield. Number 4, DCF.
From our studies, investors in Bursa decide to use dividend yield to value Skyworld, then their fair value should be around
From the prospectus, we can see that the money that Skyworld raised from the IPO, they will use it to acquire new land and repay their bank borrowings. For now, I still cannot see how much they will use to pay bank borrowings lah, but in their balance sheet, you can see that they have 448 million ringgit borrowings. So let's wait and see they will use how much of their IPO proceed to pay off their borrowing loan. They will also use IPO proceed to buy new land. So let's see what other new projects that they will launch lor. For the IPO, the 2 major shareholders will sell 20% of their shareholdings, which I think Les also got 100 million ringgit cash flow. Dato, you need KK or not? After the IPO, they will still remain to be the major shareholder with around 58% shareholdings lah. Skin in the game, bro.
So that's all for today's video. What do you think about this IPO? Let me know in the comment section. Stay safe and stay strong investing. I will see you in the next video.